What's up, guys? I'm just here on Need for Speed just to talk a little bit about TDU and the beta. Um, I mean, it's been out I'm making this video on Friday, so it's been out since Tuesday morning. And the reason I'm not on TDU is because there's a huge server queue, and I'm not really in the mood to wait, especially because I've completed it essentially. Like did the max level, max influence. I have all the cars, and I have about 80% of the roads discovered. So, I've done a fair bit of playing. I think I have over 24 hours. I'll have to go back and verify because I could check the stats on the game. But yeah, so what I really wanted to talk about is, I mean, the reasons why I'm keeping my pre-order and the reason why I'm excited. And I know that if you've been keeping track of Alex7 and he posted a YouTube video showing off the final build of the game, I mean, it looks fantastic for one. I mean, to see a small developer, but not like a AAA developer, to create something like that, it does really give me the feeling that they're really trying to make this game what it could be. And what I mean is TDU came at a time where it was such a big ask to put this game into production when the company when Atari wasn't really in the best financial situation, right? So I mean, there was a lot that I played in TDU. TDU 2 was the first game that I was ever introduced to the series. Shout out Chris Smooth. OGs know he used some of TDU's clips in his 2K My Career series. So when I was younger, I think I was about I think it was 8. I was watching these videos and I was like, dude, what is this racing game that he's playing, right? Because it was so different. I mean, the game really struck you as something that wasn't like any other racing game out there. And I think that's what kind of captured the audience that it had. I mean, you saw these cars as like pieces of art in a sense, which was kind of what the game was going for, this kind of collector mindset, this high life collector mindset, right? So that's what drew me into the game at such a young age, and I've played it. It was actually my favorite racing game of all time, besides Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon. Though Need for Speed Pro Street is also up there, but I couldn't include it in the top 5 because TDU has such a big place in my heart, and of course those Need for Speeds deserve their rightful place as well. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm a super fan. I mean, I have some of the Hariba radio playlist songs in my playlist. So it's, I really do love the game. And I wanted to kind of talk about some things in terms of the game, the beta. I mean, listen, the beta didn't look the best, right? The beta didn't look the best graphically, performance wise, even the handling, gameplay wise. But here's the thing. I mean, when you see Alex's video, it really did kind of show us that this game's come a long way. And I don't think I signed an NDA for the alpha. So I'm not going to speak on anything specifically, but I mean, it's come a long way, clearly, and it's going to keep coming a long way. And I think people forget that when we played TDU2 when it first came out, I mean, it wasn't successful. It wasn't a successful game. It didn't have a huge player base. It didn't have a seamless launch. It didn't have a lot of the characteristics that were kind of nagging on KT and Nacon for not providing. I mean, if you look back at the TDU2 marketing, I mean, it was definitely. I'm going to be honest. It's probably on the same level as it is now with SC, because they don't got. I feel like they really just don't have the budget right now to market this game in such a big way. I mean, if you look at Need for Speed and Forza, the way they market the life out of that game, I mean, there's ads for it everywhere, like, but you don't really get those test drive. I mean, I've gotten a few, maybe the odd one commercial, once every 4 months, so I really think that Alex deserves the credit where credit's due. I mean, he's really carrying and kind of guiding this hype train, and I'm all for it. I mean, a game where you're almost fully interactive with the cars, the dealership experience. I know that the big thing for a lot of people, the number one objection is that, oh, it's not TDU. It doesn't have the houses. It doesn't have that kind of feel of TDU. And when I got into the beta, I can agree with you in the sense that in the beta, yeah, it feels empty. It feels kind of boring to play, like it doesn't feel as cooperative and as communal as it did playing TDU2. And I think a big reason for that is because people are just kind of doing their own thing at all times. And I know that TDU2 is kind of like a friend. You got to play with friends. So I think what TDU2 did really well that we all miss is the social aspect. I mean, that's what we really missed in the beta. I think that's the number one thing. That really brought me down because it's like, damn, I can't even like hop in another guy's car and sit in the passenger seat while he drives, like how we used to in TDU2. Or I can't do follow the leader right now. You know what I mean? Or all I could do is hope that some random in the lobby is going to want to drive around with me. So I understand that people are kind of missing that, and that really is a big aspect of TDU2. But the thing is I also have faith, right? I mean, based on what the developers are saying, based on what Alex is saying, I mean, it sounds very, very promising. Considering how TDU2 had evolved after launch, despite being within a high-pressure situation, yeah, they still got us the casino. Yes, a lot of stuff was cut from the game, but at least they went out with a bang, essentially. I feel like that game did its best to try to complete its image or its vision before it was cut. And I have extreme amount of hope and faith that KT and Akon will do the right thing and will make sure to incorporate those features that we're asking for. Like for me personally, if you ask me, I want to see those 3D speedometers. I want to see those for each car. Like that was so cool and so special. It really did feel like different to every other racing game, that it mattered what kind of car you were in, that it mattered, like being in a different car meant everything was different. I don't know. It was so focused on the car. That was what it was about. And I have a feeling that Nacon and KT are saving us, like saving all this stuff up for the end, for when they launch and post-launch. Then they're going to say, hey, look at all these social features that you can do. Hey, look at all of this updates to the cars that we're bringing in the next few months. That's why I still have hope, and that's why I'm keeping my pre-order, because I have faith that they're going to make the updates and the changes that are required. And if you don't feel the same way, I'm not here to persuade or anything. I just think that people are asking a lot from this developer. And yes, they've delayed. And trust me, no one wants this game to come out more than me, considering this is the only racing game besides Need for Speed, because like, I don't know, like I don't play Gran Turismo. It's just like, if you don't have a wheel or like a setup like that, it's just, those games are just like, all right, like they're just not the same, right? So like Need for Speed and Test Drive is what I'd be playing. And finally, since Test Drive's coming out, I'm going to be able to play. So, I mean, of course I'm going to be excited. I think people should kind of realize that they're just like, at the end of the day, it's not a huge team. And as long as we, as a community, give them kind of a priority list saying, hey, number one priority, houses. Number two priority, casino. Number three priority, personalized speedometers on third person view, stuff like that. If we just as a community come together and vocalize and prioritize fixes that we want to see, I think that they'll come through with their end of the deal, and we'll all have a product that we're happy with, if that makes sense. So that's enough of my ranting, though. But I did want to kind of go through a car collection because I did want to show that, like, I mean, I do play other racing games. I mean, I played Need for Speed a lot. Like, obviously, I got the Dragster this season. I've been working on the speed list. I have EA Play, of course. Of course, another speed list car. But this is the Mustang that I'm building right now. There's nothing special. Another EA Play, ASAP Rocky. Another car you get from the story. I was building a Drift Pro for A. This car, I don't know. Man. I don't know. But I think what the problem is as well, people have, is the car list. Like, the thing is, this game has kind of, like, I would say a good mix between the audience. Like, so this game knew its target audience and included cars that they knew that their audience would want. For example, like, they just added the new M3 competition touring, right? Like, that's, of course, that this community, if you add that in any game, obviously, that's like a huge plus, but they know that the people that love the M3, they love to smash wide body kits, or they like to put wraps, or sometimes they even go for the clean looks with nice color and stuff. But they have a good mix of older cars, older JDM cars that people desire and still desire to this day, and they mixed in, like, kind of the early 2000s kind of reasonably priced desirable cars. And then they added the modern sports cars, race cars, and they did that formula for kind of like each category of horsepower. Like, they did it a lot for the old muscle cars, for the B tier, and then they increased. They gave us a wide variety of BMWs. Like, they gave us the old ones, the new ones. That's, like, also a thing too. Like, TDU, I know people are complaining that they're bringing it back, a lot of old cars, a lot of TDU2 cars and stuff, but I don't know. I think that if anything, that it's a positive, Listen, all the modern cars are cool. Like, of course I want a newer list, right? Of course I want not just the new M4, but the new, like, where's Acura? Where's Honda? Where's, Alpha Family? Toyota's totally out of the plot. I mean, they're not in anything. But yeah, like, where like some of the like, where's Honda and Acura? I mean, that's crazy to me. I mean, you're a racing game in 2024 with no Honda, no Acura. I saw Porsche and Lamborghini were a big surprise for me, considering TDU2 had rough, didn't even have Lambo at all. But yeah, I mean, still, hopes are high. I like the diverse car list. I don't mind that they brought back older cars. Honestly, I'm actually okay with it, in the sense that let them bring back as many old cars as they can, so that we can live in the nostalgia, and then let them drop newer cars as we play, so that there's always a new car to look forward to. And I'm assuming that they're going to go with a mix and match kind of thing, since they're doing the pass. What I would assume is, because Need for Speed does 2 cars per pass, I'm assuming Solar Crown might be the same. And I'm going to assume that they're going to bring back 1 car from TDU2, and they're going to put in 1 new car. So that's what I think. And honestly, I think that's an ideal system if that's what they're going to do. Of course, people are going to complain about the Battle Pass system. But here's the thing. If the cars in the Battle Pass, or the Solar Pass or whatever, are free, then I think it's okay. Because you get rewarded for playing consistently. So if, like, you really liked season 1 and 2, you were able to get those 4 cars. Let's say it's 2 cars, right? Like I always said, but you get the 4 cars for the 2 seasons. Okay, you didn't really took a break season 3 and 4. Then I think, yeah, okay, you either got to do a challenge to unlock that car later, like if it's like past that season where that car is available, you got to do some sort of challenge, or you got to pay, or like you got to I wouldn't say pay for the car like DLC. I don't think they're going to do that and everything, which is great. I think they should make the car like we're like cuz they're making it expensive. Like a TTRS in the beta was like 490K. So those cars better be like if you missed out, I also don't want like I don't want the people who consistently play the game to get shafted because they feel that they didn't like they grinded right the season to get the car, and then all someone had to do was wait a season just to buy it. So I hope that they do something where they add new cars, people miss out, they don't have to miss out on the car completely like in Need for Speed. I don't know if the Audi R8 and stuff and the M2 you can I know the M2 you can, but I don't know about the Audi R8 if you can unlock it through a challenge. But that's honestly the best system. If you miss the car, you just do a challenge to unlock it after. But I don't mind. I think it's going to be a good mix. Um, dude, I mean, but yeah, like I feel like we didn't see any dodge, did we? No, I'm thinking no. There is no dodge. There is no dodge. Wow. Um, but I saw that there is a Viper. Alex in the Alex 7 video, there was a Viper. So they may have the SRT Viper. That I'm hope maybe they will have the Hellcat. Maybe. Maybe it's in the American cars because I saw it was unavailable to access, but you could see in the American cars thing when you look at the photo in the top right. There was a Camaro Z or 1LE. Either yeah, I think it was a 1LE. But so hopefully they'll have some Dodge. Audi, they had the TTRS. They're gonna have the R8. I'm assuming hopefully they'll put in the S5 or the RS5 even better. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just say fingers crossed. There's no reason to be so negative. I mean, especially like, listen, if you're not happy with the beta, that's one thing. But I think people forget that the beta is a test, and they're obviously using an older version of the game. So they're not capable of dropping a near finished product as a beta. Like they're just not big enough as a team to have the resources to finish the product up, drop it as a beta, and then go and tweak it. I think they're doing the right thing by working on the final product and let us experience kind of like an older build so that we're prepared to enjoy the final product knowing what it was a few like 4 or 5 months ago, knowing that the home stretch that they worked on a lot of these things, knowing that they tweaked the stuff that they listened to us. I mean, it makes sense for them, and considering the size of the company, I can't sit here and give them negative feedback when they aren't in a position to do this stuff. I mean, they were already in trouble with overworking employees. So listen, like, it's not easy to run a company either. Like, it's not easy to hit those targets, especially when you're building something as such as a game where you don't receive all of the money up front, you know? You have to wait up until close to launch. You put all the money in as an investment, build a product. So sometimes they have to make decisions that make sense fiscally. And like I don't see as long as the finished product is what Alex shows us, the Alex 7 video with the final build, as long as it's like that, as long as we get the full map, like the stupid beta map, it's so small. But I mean, my hopes are high, and I think everyone should keep their hopes high because there's nothing wrong, you know. There's nothing wrong with being excited for a game, even if doesn't look promising, and that's just how I feel. But yeah, I know my car collection's kind of, but I do got a lot of special cars in here. Um, Obviously got that Mansuri Lamborghini kit. I mean the Urus kit. So nice. Balmain edition. I just got my regular one. This is from the story mode. It's my Panda MX-5. Another MX-5. RX-7. My they're both drift, but one's drift pro. I don't really use this car. I don't use this car. I used to use this. I don't use it. Eh. Yeah. I love the wide body. Wide body Maybach. I've been using this car recently. I really like it. Speed list car. I won this car. I would decide to build my own. And now another Evo. My Evo's 180SX. My 350Z. Fairlady Z. K Series. The Sylvia. My GTRs. One's EA Play, of course. Rest in peace, Paul Wall. I call this the MF Doom car. This is also from the story mode. Oh yeah, my Huayra. So crispy. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Like, me personally, I like it. I think it's kind of like it's really different for a body kit. It's so different. I love the color on my Carrera. This GTS is so crispy. My RWB. My GT2 RS. My GT3 RS. My Taycan. I think that's forged carbon there. It looks good. I don't use it though. And the SRT Viper, I think you get from those, either it was from challenges or season. I don't remember, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I think bottom line, you guys should be excited for TDU. I think they're gonna do their best to try and create the vision that the franchise had set out, with TDU2. It's been 14 years. I've been waiting patiently. And it's only a few weeks away, so I feel like we should celebrate a little bit and shed a positive light on the game, because people are quick to give negative feedback, quick to slander, but at the end of the day, they're just a critic. They're not the developers. They're not the people who are there, who see what's going on, who are putting in the work, who are part of the process. And I think with Alex Evans' video showcasing kind of the stuff that was cut from TDU2 because of time and budget constraints, I see that TDU2 was a lot bigger than what we actually got, and we still got a really big game. Yes, a lot of it felt sometimes like the maps and stuff felt barren, but we got such a game packed with such different innovative features, and to think that we could have even had more had, the finances and the timing had been better, right? So you gotta hope that this time those restrictions won't be in the way, those roadblocks won't be in the way for them, and they can just clear a path to a successful launch and a successful post-launch. And finally, people will have a Test Drive Unlimited game on the PS5. 14 years since TDU2 had launched, right? So, yeah, that's all I had to say. I mean, feel free to drop a like and leave thoughts in the comments. I mean, I'll respond. I absolutely would love to engage in discussion. I've been active in the TDU3 the TDU3 Reddit. That people kind of discuss beta thoughts there, so that's a great resource to talk everything about TDUSC. I mean, everyone's I at least see at least one Reddit post a day, people talking about, oh, I'm canceling my pre-order and stuff. But I also see a lot of positives in there. People saying, these criticisms are very harsh. Or, I mean, you're talking about it looks like a mobile game, and I'll give you the steering animation, very mobile game. But I would think in terms of the way it plays and the way it looks for a beta, it looks like you can't compare it to a mobile game. A mobile game beta wouldn't even exist. Like it's like it wouldn't be an open test because of how bad it would look, like at how bad it would perform. Like mobile games are running on iPhones and Androids that have like a quarter, if not half, because phones can be pretty powerful nowadays, but they're not running on the same power, so you can't compare. There's just no way, right? So some of these criticisms are very harsh. So I think everyone should kind of loosen up, just get excited that a series is making a return, and let's not kill the game before it comes out. Like let's not bash the game so terribly that we regret not being able to get the community to be as big and as social as it could be. And because I think that with TDU Solar Crown, like the community should really come together and become very social so that we can all enjoy the game to its fullest potential, because at the end of the day, it's a social game. It's meant to draw people together. That's the purpose of Test Drive Unlimited. And I think people forget that. People think it's just about the lifestyle. It's just about the cars. But I think it's like a triangle. It's about the cars, it's about the lifestyle, but it's about bringing people together, that's why you have the two clans. That's why it's like, oh, you're like-minded, like to separate people, but to show people, hey, these are your like-minded peers. These are your like-minded peers. And I know it's corny, it's cheesy, but it's directed to a younger audience. Of course it's going to be, right? But I think the big idea was to draw people together, right? To get people of similar interests into groups. And that's the purpose of the game. And I think that come TDUSC, people will more people will realize that, and more people will be on board once we have full access to the social features, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.